We've codified our existence to bring it down to human size, to make it comprehensible. We've created a scale so that we can forget its unfathomable scale.
Episode 3. The Storm. Inside the secret annex, life was a delicate balance. Anne and her family, along with the others who shared their hiding place, lived in the quiet rhythm of survival. Every day was a dance of silence and caution. The house that had once been bustling with the noise of normal life was now a cage, a place of quiet refuge where no sound could be made, no step could be too loud. Even the smallest gesture, the softest whisper, could break the fragile peace they had fought so hard to build. Anne, in her quiet room, turned to her diary to capture what remained of her life in those hidden walls. Her words became her refuge, her rebellion. In the pages of her notebook, she chronicled the things she saw, the beams of sunlight that broke through the window just for a moment, the smell of the food they shared in secret, the faces of her family and companions who huddled together in that small world. The annex became both a sanctuary and a prison, a place where hope could be found in moments of stillness, yet where fear always lurked just outside. The quiet became a companion to Anne. For so many months, they had lived in the shadows, relying on the delicate trust of those who knew they were there. They had learned to live with the constant uncertainty of knowing that at any moment, their world could be shattered. Every knock at the door, every footstep on the street below, filled their hearts with dread. They were always waiting, always watching, listening for the signs that the outside world had found them. Yet, in the midst of it all, Anne found something remarkable. She found the strength to write, to process, to reflect. She wrote of her dreams, her fears, her frustrations. She wrote of the beauty she still saw in the world, even though it had become so distant. It was in her writing that Anne discovered the power to hold on, to keep a sense of who she was in a world that sought to erase her. Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy, she would write. And in those words, she gave herself a lifeline. The world outside was filled with violence, with fear, but Anne's words became a shield against the chaos. But silence does not last forever. Even the calm before the storm is still part of the storm's approach. And one day, the calm was broken. The walls that had kept them hidden, the routine they had carefully built, all shattered with the arrival of the knock on the door. A sound that rang out like thunder in the stillness, a sound that heralded the end of their secret life. The soldiers, unyielding and sharp, broke through the secrecy of the annex. Anne and her family, along with the others hiding with them, had no warning, no time to flee. The world that had been built inside those walls, the whispered conversations, the small comforts, the hope that had been held close for so long was now reduced to panic. The soldiers did not show mercy. Anne, her family, and their companions were herded out with urgency. The world outside, once distant and unimaginable, suddenly pressed in, and they were dragged from their hiding place into the unforgiving streets of Amsterdam. Anne must have felt as though the floor had fallen from beneath her. The soldiers' harsh voices, the quick and brutal movements, must have been overwhelming as they were forced to leave behind everything they had fought to preserve. There was no time for goodbyes, no time for second thoughts. The hope that they could hide forever, that the annex could shield them forever, was now lost. The family who had risked everything to protect them, the people who had given their own safety to keep the Franks hidden, watched helplessly as the soldiers took them away. Their lives too were shattered. The weight of their betrayal would follow them forever. In that moment, they could do nothing but watch as those they had hidden were carted off, as the fragile peace they had created was torn apart. They were not taken in a gentle manner. The soldiers, moving with ruthless efficiency, forced the group into trucks, waiting outside. They were transported like cattle, packed into tight spaces, unsure of where they were going or what would come next. Anne and her family, once in the safety of their home, now faced the unknown. The weight of what they had lost, of what they could never get back, pressed upon them like an unbearable burden. "Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy," Anne had written. Those words, which had sustained her through months of fear, would be tested in the storm's fury. Yet even in that moment, her resilience remained. She would carry that beauty in her heart as the soldiers led them away, tearing apart everything they had known.